Hello, dear friends. July could change the course of world events. Opinion piece. Peak energy stage. We win at dawn. High energy window. High frequency portal. Time has slowed down. July will be very intense. Intense spiritual resonance. Light at the end of the tunnel. Powerful energetic activation. Cycle of vibrational expansion. Dawn breaks over a utopian world. Time for awakening and inner healing. Phase of transformation and alignment. Let's start. We are entering a window of intense energy, according to Alexander Quinn. We are entering one of the most intense energy windows of the year. These energy portals never appear by chance. Consciousness always prepares in advance. Just as the tide begins to rise long before reaching the shore, the energy field begins to reorganize weeks before the portal fully opens. That is why many of you are already noticing subtle changes within yourselves. The old identity is beginning to feel uncomfortable. Decisions that have been waiting in the background now demand attention. As we approach the galactic new year next month, the energy will amplify your current situation and what you have been putting off. Consciousness never forces transformation. It reveals it. That's why two people can experience the same energetic window and yet have different experiences. The energy is the same, but the consciousness is not. Between now and the next month, don't be surprised if life starts asking you to let go of something that no longer reflects what you are. By August, the river will have become a rapid. The question isn't whether you consciously see it or not, but whether you allow yourself to be carried along. It will be a very difficult period for some, but for others it will bring and experience the frequency of what some call heaven, although that level isn't a place, but an energy. That energy is working for you, not against you. You can do it. As disclosure enters this new phase, the community is asked to stay alert and informed about these unprecedented events that are expected to redefine the world as we know it. According to these reports, the conditions are ripe for a momentous shift toward a new financial paradigm and an era of accountability and prosperity. Recovery. Time has returned, according to X-Spirit. After CERN shut down the Large Hadron Collider on June 29th, identical posts began appearing, in quotes. The days feel long again, like in childhood. Some people claim to be having vivid dreams again. Others say they perceive smells more intensely, and their anxiety has disappeared for no apparent reason. Time has stopped flying by and seems to have returned to its usual, more tranquil pace. Conspiracy circles have long claimed that the collider not only accelerates particles, but also opens portals, alters timelines, and creates glitches in reality such as the Mandela effect, time acceleration, and the feeling that someone pressed the fast forward button in our lives. While it was operating, we lived in a slightly distorted flow, and now that it's shut down, everything seems to be returning to normal. It's as if gigantic machine was actually affecting the fabric of space-time, creating tiers of resonance or resonance that we experience as time acceleration. Now the portals are closed. The simulation has restarted in a more natural mode, or perhaps the universe has finally exhaled. Light at the end of the tunnel. The Pleiadians call 2026 the light at the end of the tunnel, according to X-Spirit. The frequency war won't disappear overnight, but it will begin to fade as more people awaken and choose their own reality. Open contact with benevolent civilizations is no longer a fantasy. It's a near future. Those who raise their frequency learn to work with their hearts and use the language of light will be the first to sense and see them. What if in 2026 we witnessed massive daytime sightings of enormous ships over cities? What if governments finally recognized not just unidentified objects, but the presence of intelligent races? Imagine free energy suddenly emerging, eliminating poverty and wars over resources. Imagine thousands of people around the world experiencing direct contact simultaneously, not in dreams, but in reality. Imagine a global shift in consciousness that transforms everything: economy, science, and spirituality. 2026 and 27 could be the years in which humanity finally leaves the childhood stage and enter the adult galactic world. What does it mean for each of us? Those who remain trapped in fear, anger, and old thought patterns in a fading reality risk being left behind. But those who consciously work with their energy will open the door to a whole new level: personal contact, instant manifestation, participation in the galactic community, and a life without limits. Reset News. Congress holds integration of the US and Israeli militaries. The Space Force has been integrated into the Air Force in a race against time to ensure mission dominance. The Golden Age begins on July 4, 2026, the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, according to James O'Brien. Starship Earth wrote these words: "They cannot afford to lose us at this late stage, when the awakened are at their limit, weary and searching deep within themselves for the last drops of faith and commitment to carry on." According to Axios 4B, IMF contacts confirm that coordinated operations are underway in 47 countries, involving the seizure of assets and the arrest of those responsible. They believe the global financial cabal is being dismantled. The old fiat system is collapsing in real time. Several major banks are experiencing liquidity shortages as large transfers are redirected to the new system. Internal IMF sources confirm urgent closed-door meetings. They are aware they are losing control. We won at dawn. People demand an immediate answer, but the key players refuse to accelerate the timeline to satisfy public curiosity. According to Rob Cunningham, the plan unfolds based on circumstances, not emotions. Silence becomes part of the strategy because it is an operational necessity. The greatest battles have always been fought where few could see them, not because secrecy is noble, but because throughout history, successful campaigns have depended on keeping plans hidden until their execution. Weather warfare, according to Media Grid. In a coordinated special operation, strategic forces secured the last nodes of the classified weather weapons system codenamed Throne Climate. A secret coalition of 6 countries has dismantled a network of 22 atmospheric warfare stations that have been operating since 1979. For the first time in nearly half a century, the frequency generators are inactive. The sky belongs to no one, and rain will fall wherever nature chooses. Spiritual battle. The reality we live is completely different according to man in America. The spiritual battle is the toughest fight we face, one we become immersed in because of our strengths and abilities according to Chris Young. All countries participate in the population, and each uses similar methods, albeit with slight differences, according to Michael Young and Maria C. We are escaping a 178,000-year-old soul trap, according to Kurt Thalon Thor. Ascension consists of understanding what has happened in this realm and accepting it. Awareness doesn't mean you know everything. It means you have become an observer and can see through the nonsense, according to Russell Geoffrey Banks. The earth trembles and humanity awakens, according to Gary Kay. This is the awakening of the true self beneath the rubble of the false matrix. This is where the inherited pattern begins to dissolve and your true lineage begins to rise. Message from Dave Smith. All aspects of our society becomes weapons against the individual, and this leads to different divisions, different labels for different cultures and different sectors, preventing us from uniting as a species. Fear is styled in us as a protection against evil, but its function is not to dominate reason, but to assist it. It must not be allowed to tyrannize the imagination, to generate phantoms of horror, or to overwhelm life with superfluous afflictions. Samuel Johnson. According to Elon Musk, you get taxed on what you earn, what you buy, and what you own. And what does money go on a lot of things you don't even agree with. That's why we need to shrink government, spend less money, and let people keep a lot more of their hard-earned money. According to Jason Christoph, elections, political parties, voting, and the sham contests between well-paid politicians are mere stage sets used to create an illusion of freedom, while the final details of a global economic prison, Chinese style, we are being worked out. People undermined and controlled think that the government would never do that. In quotes. Expiration of the monopoly. Guardian Daniel announces the expiration of a resource monopoly software, interpreted as an artificial control system that maintained scarcity, dependence, and dominance over essential technologies and resources. This software has reached its end, allowing the release of suppressed innovations, such as free energy technologies, replicators, and models of planetary abundance. Mind controlled. Congress reopened MK Ultra files. The new hearing demands full disclosure, according to Elena Danam. Evidence presented at the hearing demonstrates that it is possible to replace a person's memory and implant a new mind after destroying the original one through the use of drugs, hypnosis, and torture. The person would not remember anything and would not be aware of having been subjected to the program. Directed energy weapons and remote influence were also mentioned as tools used in this process. Ufology. Former analyst of the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, Sarah Gunn, has just declared, in quotes, I have found non-human intelligence in public, and there are places where they are known to be present. She claims to have seen humanoid beings walking among us in Washington, D.C. They camouflage themselves using disguises, but their eyes and distinctive energy give them away. her contacts to confirm that they live and detected in specific locations. Congress received sworn testimony detailing 5 specific UFO crash site recoveries containing exotic and biological materials. Tim Budget said, "We have extraterrestrial bodies in our possession." Elizondo confirms the handled materials engineered at the atomic level. He handled materials engineered at the atomic level that no current human technology could replicate or manufacture. The Pentagon uses extreme compartmentalization to conceal UFO technology from Congress, the public, and even the sitting presidents. Private defense contractors exploit loopholes to circumvent the Freedom of Information Act. Whistleblowers face threats, attacks, and suspicious disappearances. In any case, files that were never made public are being rapidly leaked, and intelligence is not human. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.